Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shazza Balkis binti Zainuddin, and I will talk about previous technology of telescope. Telescopy is a branch of astronomy that making and operating telescope. A telescope is an optical instrument that makes distant objects appear magnified by using an arrangement of lens or curved mirror and lens or various devices used to observe distant objects by their emission, absorption or reflection of electromagnetic radiation. The first non-practical telescope was refracting telescope invented in the Netherlands at the beginning of the 17th century. The presence of telescope may have been kept as a military secret to look out for a Spanish armada. Colin Renin, a science student of history, says Britain may have used the same stealthy approach with the reflecting telescope. Leonard Gibbs brought out as the principle of the telescope sometime recently, especially in 1571. Thomas utilized one of the telescope to look at stars otherwise invisible to the human eye. Then the first record of telescope was begun in 1608, patented by Hans Lippershitz. In the 20th century, many new types of telescopes were invented, including radio telescope in the 1930s and infrared telescope in 1960. The word telescope now refers to a wide range of instruments capable of detecting different regions of the electromagnetic spectrum and in some cases of the types of detector.
My name is Nurhazika binti Zukairi. I would like to explain about the problem statement of telescopy. The first telescope was composed of a convex and a conical planes. The telescope don't invert the image. There is only 3 times magnification on Lippershitz' original design telescope. Galileo triggered one of the greatest scientific revolutions of all time by refining the telescope in 1609. He constructed the telescope for his own use and to display to his patrons. The telescope could magnify objects 20 times. The telescope is called a perspicillum. The thought that the Earth and the planets circle the Sun was strengthened by observed with the perspicillum. Kepler studied the theory of a telescope of 2 convex lenses. Then he explained it in his cataphrase. Scheiner is the first person that constructed a telescope of this form and gave the description in his Rosa Ursina in 1630. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alia Nazira Chejuso. I will continue about the problem statement. The first person who identified the radio radiation from space in 1931 was Karl Jansky. He found a source of radio obstructions from the center of Milky Way. Since then, radio telescopes have mapped the shape of universes and the presence of background microwave radiation that confirm expectation within the Big Bang theory. The larger telescopes that can improve image quality is introduced in 1980. It is known as active optics and adaptive optics. For example, Hubble Space Telescope is one of the largest and most flexible that launched in 1990. It is well known as vital investigate instrument and as a public relations boon for astronomy. Next, James Webb Space Telescope could investigate across the fields of astronomy and cosmology. It could observe the formation of the first galaxies. Besides, camera obscura, which also referred as pinhole image, is the natural optical phenomenon that occurs when an image of a scene at the other side of the screen is projected through a small hole in that screen as a reverse and inverted image of the surface opposite to the opening. The surroundings of the projected image have to be relatively dark for the image to be clear, so many historical camera obscura experiments were performed in dark rooms. The camera obscura was used to study eclipse without the risk of damaging the eyes by looking into the sun directly. As a drawing aid, the camera obscura allowed the tracing of projected image to produce a highly accurate representation, especially appreciated as an easy way to achieve a proper graphical perspective. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Arif Azhar Kamka. I'm going to talk about issue of telescopy. The first use of telescope by an astronomer called Galileo Galilei, which was a crude reflecting telescope used for his observation about the moon, Jupiter, and the Milky Way. Now, the advanced technology are shown by astronomical telescope that has evolved from a small manually pointed device for visual observation to a large, sophisticated computer-controlled instrument with full digital output. Throughout this development, two properties have been particularly important, which is the light collecting power or diameter of the telescope's mirror, allowing for fainter and more distant objects to be detected. The image sharpness or angular resolution, allowing smaller and fainter objects to be seen. Hence, new technology is important in constructing a telescope.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Haziq bin Nursam. Today, I will continue to explain about the issue of telescopy. So, the development of several advanced technologies by the European Southern Observatory, or we call it ESO, as a worldwide leader in astronomy that enable the construction of large telescope mirrors. While maintaining the optical accuracy, they have developed an active optic which is now used in the most modern medium size and large telescopes such as the Very Large Telescope or VLT at the cerebral, consisting of 4 telescopes. It is equipped with the best active optic systems constructed to date. That's all from me. Thank you.
I want to explain about methodology. There are two types of the telescope that use different methods but achieve similar results. One telescope uses glass lens to apply reflection concept, and another telescope uses mirror for reflection. This is where the reflection telescope is using a glass lens while the reflector telescope uses a mirror. First, reflector telescope. Reflector telescope is also a type of optical telescope lens, as its objective in shaping the image. Originally, the design of reflection telescope was used in glass lens, and astronomical telescope were even used for lens focus cameras. And another one, reflector telescope. A reflecting telescope, also called a reflector, is a telescope that uses a single or a combination of curved mirrors that reflect light and form an image. Properties. First, objective lens or primary mirror. The objective lens or the mirror gather a lot light from distant objective and brings light or image to a point or focus. So more light can accumulate and supply or light to eyes. In the use of glass lens, we can see objects near or far, adjusting the size of the lens to the thin of tip as it can affect the focus distance. Second, how well it can collect the light. The ability of the telescope to collect light depends on the size, diameter of the lens or a mirror. The larger the lens diameter, the more light. So this can fulfill the amount of light that a telescope needs to work in keeping with the distance of the object you want to see. Third, IP lens. The lens of the IC lens capture bright light from the focus of the objective lens or mirror and enlarge it to take up most of the retina. So it will happen increase the size of the image on the original object to the retina area. And the last, how much it can magnify the image. The magnification of the telescope, its ability to enlarge the image, depends on combination of used lens of lens thickness. Eyeglasses do magnification. Ever since, magnification can be achieved with almost any telescope using different eyes lens. Aperture is a more important feature than magnification. The concept of telescope is the lens magnification. Normal telescope series use a simple equation magnification for lens. A telescope with special series, such as Ariane's telescoping series investigation, use a complicated equation magnification to produce the lens.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Anik. I'm gonna talk about the application of telescopy. Firstly, the reflector, which is the one in the mirror. The mirror is a relatively smooth, rigid glass whose top surface has been precisely grounded and polished. Second, the refractor, which is the familiar one. Many regular telescopes and binoculars use lenses to absorb the light that we see through an eyepiece. Third, the classical Cassegrain, which is the prime one. And the primary mirror is paraboloid shape. 4. The Smith, the round one. Primary mirror is made with spherical curvature for photography of large areas of the sky, and an aspheric corrector plate is mounted at the top end of the telescope tube. 5. Radio telescope, the metal one. Many radio telescopes operate in the same way as an optical reflecting telescope, except that the mirror is made of metal, transmitting the radio waves to a primary focus detector. And lastly, observing from space. Even the atmosphere prevents us from seeing very sharp detail in image. We can see such shimmer when we look at the stars at night.
Hi, my name is Nusha Zanani binti Muafiza. Now I will continue about the advantages of the telescope. The first advantage is it is affordable and available. Since telescope is an important technology that is all around the world nowadays, the price and the cost are cheaper. Hence, it is more affordable for the buyers to purchase it or to rent it in order to have some experience in using it. The cost and the mechanism they use in making the telescope is also the nature of its use, and they are easy to find in as the telescope is commonly used device. Also, in the same word, we can also say we can find the telescope easily without look any for limited or specific store. They manufacture the telescope as it is widely available and easy to find in any technology store. Thank you.
A second advantage for the telescopy is a visual trick. Optical telescopes have a visual trick. We can use a telescope to focus on a few stars or a specific planet on the sky, and we can get a amazing live image and picture from the telescope. It's a very suitable for the astrophotography because they can take the picture from the telescope and can frame this photo for the family and their friends. And the third advantage for the telescopy is easy to use. As we know, scientists or astronomy use a telescope to look star or a few specific planet on the sky with a use lasers telescopy because the lasers telescope have a more powered magnification for that. But now we know telescopy has a small one. We can use and bring them everywhere anytime easily for us.
Okay, the disadvantages of the telescopy is its challenge of weather and atmospheric turbulence. As we all know, telescopes need visible light to see the stars clearly, but it happens only in a good weather. The stars could not be seen clearly if the weather is not in a good point. What is it? For example, we have the rainy day and we have the strong wind at the night. Why? It is because the visible light is minimal during the rainy day or in a bad weather. The weather will affect the quantum of the light from reaching the telescope's lenses, so the light could not refract well on the telescope lenses and it could not produce a clear image that we can see clearly. That is why the telescope is having a cons that we could only use telescopes in a good weather only to see the images clearly. Next, it is unusable during the day. Yes, visible light is really important so that we can see the stars or the planets clearly. During the day, we have the sunlight as visible light. However, the sunlight is too glorious that we could not see the stars or the objects or the planets in the daytime. Telescope also needs to depend on the darkness. So that is why the darkness of the night is really important and the visible light on the night is good enough so that we could see the stars clearly. Because at night we don't have any light that could overwhelm the stars light itself.
Hello, my name is Alia Kamalia binti Muhammad Kodim. Today I would like to talk about the disadvantages of a great telescope. It is big and heavy. To have a great image of the space, we need to use a great telescope. This is because the lens and mirror are bigger, so we can zoom in the star clearer. However, this type of telescope is big, heavy, and also a bit pricey than the other telescope. Because it is big, it needs a big space to put it and to set up. Usually, people might leave it installed and never move it until the person itself have to move somewhere else. Besides, this type of telescope also comes with time and energy consuming. This shows that to have a good image of the space, we need to overcome the heaviness and the energy that might take in handling the telescope. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurishdina binti Mawaiza and I'll be continuing about the recommendation part. Firstly, you need to install a camera on the body part of the telescope. This is for you to take picture of the image that you got. Secondly, you need to use a higher power of convex lens, more common than the already used in the industry. This is for you to gain more sharper, high quality picture. So scientists could use this picture as a research of their own. Third, for the body part, you need to use materials like anti-corrosion and lightweight. This is for you to use in the longer terms that you might save a lot of cost from using and build up new telescope. for the lightweight, you could transport it from another place to another. This is very helpful for you to move quickly from another place to another. And that's all for me. Thank you.